Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, CEO of Lighthouse Streaming, and you're watching Centex Sports Network.
I mean, just to walk in here and see all these fans supporting us is unreal.
That's all you try to do is go out there and focus and do your job and just keep making one pitch at a time.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. They gotta sit back and watch, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the, we on our way to the, yeah, we on our way to the top.
Look, make sure you mention my name with the greats. Whole lot of talk, but it ain't no debate. We light it up like we causing an accident, but it ain't no mistake. Seat at the table, I carry the weight. They want the beef, so we hire the steaks. Bust in the kitchen and fire the chef.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
We can't be the guys that's gonna be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the block. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my black hoodie with a rollie on, eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? Home up in the studio, so I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
Son, all your car needs now is a stereo system. Now I know just the spot to go get it. Man, Jack Stereo.
Oh yeah, they're the best. How'd you know about that place?
Probably that's where my dad took me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm the coolest cat on the block.
Oh my God.
Need a new audio system for your new ride? Jack Stereo has been selling the best stereos and equipment for generations after generations. Come visit your local store today. Those in the know, go to Jack Stereo, Waco, Temple, Killeen, and Bryan College Station.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and Audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, CEO of Lighthouse Streaming, and you're watching Centex Sports Network.
I mean, just to walk in here and see all these fans supporting us is unreal.
That's all you try to do is go out there and focus and do your job and just keep making one pitch at a time.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. They gotta sit back and watch, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the, we on our way to the, yeah, we on our way to the top.
Look, make sure you mention my name with the greats. Whole lot of talk, but it ain't no debate. We light it up like we causing an accident. But it ain't no mistake. Seat at the table, I carry the weight. They want the beef, so we hire the steaks. Bust in the kitchen and fire the chef.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the.
Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis. So we get ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally, but from all around the nation. Hope everybody's having a great Friday Eve here on this Thursday afternoon / Thursday evening. Great day here as March Madness has officially started. The upsets have already started to roll in. For those of you that have kept up with it, I think they said there's only 3% of brackets left that are still remaining perfect. I'm sure that'll probably be 0% by the end of the night or early morning on Friday as well. Lots of good games still to look forward to. Lots of good games that's already happened. We'll talk about a few of those here today on Centex Primetime. We got a lot to cover. We'll talk a little bit of football. I know March Madness got everybody watching basketball. We'll talk some football. NFL draft right around the corner. We'll talk a little bit about a couple of the free agent signings as well. We'll also dive in and talk about some NBA basketball as well. My Rockets lost a baseball series to the Los Angeles Lakers, lost on Monday night. Feel like we lost even worse on Wednesday night. So I ain't going to talk about the Rockets. Maybe we'll talk about the Lakers or somebody else. And we'll talk a little bit about some quick takes as well, what's going on around the world of sports. Some comments made by David Aranda in a new interview that he has about his recruiting philosophy. So we'll talk a little bit about that in the Baylor Bears as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in with us. Like, share, subscribe as always. Also, make sure you go to the website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. Subscribe on there. Just need your name and your email to get signed up for free, and you'll get access to all of our content. That includes MCC Sports. We got baseball on Saturday. Had some softball on Wednesday as the girls were able to come out with the victory. The men will be playing against Hill on Saturday. I believe those games are 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. You can catch it right here on Centex Sports Network. Well, folks, let's get right into it here. We got a lot to talk about. Joining me here at the table, we got the man back in the building, former Texas Tech Red Raider and WISD Hall of Famer and San Diego Charger, Mr. Wayne Walker in the building with us. Wayne, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Jalen, man? You got a full show today,
yes,
man.
Sir. Yes, sir. Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about.
Let's jump straight into this basketball, man. March Madness is in full effect. We've got some good games. The first game, TCU and Ohio State, was a great one. To start it off, TCU got a win 66-64 over them. After that, the game started to slightly chill out a little bit. Nebraska got a big win over Troy. Louisville was able to hold off of USF. But then a team called High Point came out and played against the number 5 Wisconsin Badgers, and High Point Panthers were able to get a win in this game. Nonstop entertainment from start to finish in this game. I watched the whole game. They really came out and had a great program. If you guys have watched on Tuesday, this was the first upset game that I called out and said this is probably going to be an upset. Now, the other one I had, USF getting the win over Louisville. They didn't pull it off. It was close. Came down to the wire, didn't pull it off. But High Point able to get a victory in this game. Really, I was just looking at majority of these guys on the team transferred over from big schools, Wayne. They had in that conference that they play in, they said they had the biggest NIL budget out of everybody in that conference, and it showed. They got shooters out there, and we know shooting is one thing that can kind of be a turning point for everything, especially in the NCAA tournament. What do you think about the first upset of the day, High Point getting win over Wisconsin?
Well, like you called it. You called it from the beginning, man. The NIL portal is the deal. If you got the money to go out and get players, you can go out and get players from a variety of places and that'll fit your needs and fit your budget, basically. And I knew High Point had a great record coming in. It's not one of the games I picked. I thought Wisconsin would beat them. Mm-hmm. So my bracket is already busted, and they completed a win in your bracket. So congratulations to High Point on doing an outstanding job. And this is what March Madness is all about.
Yeah, this the fun part about March Madness. You see these teams that, I mean, we don't have to act like we all watched High Point during the regular season because there was nowhere to watch it unless you go to the school. So you get to see these teams that we don't know much about. You do a little bit of research. They come in, and they beat a Wisconsin team that was one of the better teams in the Big Ten.
Right.
So seeing them come out, like I said, shooting is always the biggest deal, man. They had the kid, Chase Johnson, that hit 5 threes in this game. He's a shooter. He only shoots the ball. They said he had not made a 2-point field goal the entire year. He only had made 3-point field goals. The game-winning layup for High Point was a layup by the kid. That was his first 2-point make of the year. So you get those little stories like that, man, and that's what makes March Madness really fun. Another game that kind of got everybody excited here and got everybody going, but really scared everybody, especially me. Duke pulls off a very, very narrow win over the Siena Saints. Siena was up 43-32 at halftime. Duke was able to outscore them 39-22 in that second half, get a win 71-65 in that game. Do you think this should scare some people about Duke, or is this just, sometimes when you're the big dog, you overlook teams and you expect to come out and get victories?
And that's part of it too, but these teams have an opportunity to do this. This is what they've been waiting on all year long, man, for an opportunity to be seen and to go up and match wits against other ball clubs and see what they got. I remember Rick Pitino Jr. coaching at Siena and almost had an upset a number 1 seed years back. I don't know how long ago it was, but, I mean, these guys wait for this opportunity all year long, and they want to play against the big boys. Yeah. And with Duke having 2 starters out right now, they are very vulnerable. So I don't know if it just scares you, but that's just a part of March Madness, man. That's what it's all about. I mean, that's the aurora about March Madness.
Yeah, it's not really something that would scare me. Man, you see this all the time. You got the big dogs. It's Duke. They're coming in number 1 overall seed. And you got a Siena team that's got absolutely nothing to lose. They can go out there and play as free as they want. Showed in that first half, but Duke showed why they're Duke. And in that second half, they were able to slow the game down. They went into a zone, kind of forced those guys to shoot instead of letting them get open threes after beating some man-to-man coverage. So great coaching adjustments by Duke. Great job by the Boozer brothers going out there and really stepping up for their team. Cam Boozer, 22 points in this game, 13 boards. But more importantly, went 13 for 14 from the free throw line. When you got guys that are fundamentally sound, I said it on Tuesday, this Duke team, I didn't pick them to win it all, but they're probably the most fundamentally sound team coming into this tournament. They got guys like the Boozer brothers coming out there, as Wayne just said. They got injuries in their starting lineup. A couple guys out of their starting lineup. So you got to adjust to that. That was an adjustment for Duke in that first half. They came out, made the necessary adjustment for them to win. I'm more kind of upset of the Siena coach. I get that, you play a certain way and it gets you here and you made it this far. You got to roll with your guys. But he did not sub anybody in this game. All 5 starters played 40 minutes. And in the second half, they shot like 6 for 20-something.
Yeah, and when your adrenaline is flowing like that, man, you need a break. Yeah. Man. You have to take a break, man, or your tongue is going to be hanging out. So, I mean, with everything on the line, you have to make those adjustments. And there's some guys that, I mean, you hadn't relied on all year, but you have to come to rely on those guys when it comes down to this, because to go out there and you got somebody playing 40 minutes, man, that is
all 5.
Tough.
And it showed in the last 8-10 minutes.
And they're giving it all they got for 40 minutes, man. It's going to, your legs are going to get tired. You're not going to have the same lift that you have. And, like I say, that adrenaline takes effect that first half, so you playing on all adrenaline. But then once you take that break at halftime and you come back out and you readjust, you have to make some adjustments as a coach to keep your team in it and to keep them, because then your brain becomes tired, your legs become tired, and you're mentally drained and you're physically drained, and it's just not going to work for you, especially against a team like Duke.
Yeah, and then you're playing a top-tier team. It's not like you're playing a random team or a team even in Sienna's conference. Everyone that's played basketball at any point, even if it's just in the gym, you know, if you don't have no legs, you cannot shoot the ball. I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
if your legs are gone because you're tired, you're not going to get any lift on your jump shot, and you're going to miss.
And you just compound that with the mental capacity that you have to finish that ball game, and it just takes a toll on you.
And that's exactly what happened. Shout out to Sienna for making it entertaining, but Duke was able to withstand those guys moving forward. A few of the other games after that were really blowouts, man. Michigan State gets a blowout over North Dakota State. Arkansas and John Calipari get a blowout over Hawaii moving forward. Looking at some of these other teams in here, who are some of the teams that you're kind of excited to watch just yet? We already got a chance to see, Darius Acuff at Arkansas and some of these other guys at Michigan State. What are some teams that you're kind of excited to watch?
The deal is, you know what my bracket has in this deal? I have 3 teams from the Big 12 making it to the Final Four.
Yeah. A lot of people did that. I think I did as well. I had Iowa State, Arizona, and Houston.
So I'm excited to see what the Big 12 does.
Yeah.
And then you're leaving out some of the elite teams. I know Texas Tech had a great team until Toppin went out, and I'm talking about Texas, my alma mater. But they had a great team before he went out, so you could have gave them a chance. Then you're talking about Kansas State, University of Kansas, who projected to have the number 1 pick in the whole draft.
Yeah.
So you had that talent, and you have a coach like Bill Self that's won it 3 or 4 times. So, the Big 12 is loaded, man.
It's loaded. I love watching. Got to see the Big 12 up close and personal for most of the season. I watched a lot of Big 12 basketball, and some people were thinking, they'll be like the SEC. I think last year the SEC got 10 teams in, and in the first round, 6 or 7 of those teams lost.
Got knocked out.
The Big 12 is not like that, man. The Big 12 is the real deal. Any of those guys can move forward. We just talked about both of us have 3 teams from the Big 12 in the Final Four. That's not even including the Kansas, a team like that. That's not even including the BYU with A.J. DeBonster and people like that.
Right.
So
exactly.
The Big 12, night in and night out, is one of the toughest conferences to play in. We'll see a couple of those guys play tonight, and actually in about an hour, BYU playing against Texas. I know you've got a chance to watch A.J. DeBonster this year and what he was able to do at BYU. We talked about the kid before he even got to BYU because he made all the news with the big NIL deal. But he's delivered, man. He's led the league in scoring all year long. He's averaging 25 points a game. The dude is a monster out there, can score from all 3 levels on the floor. Do you think a guy like him, even though BYU isn't a team that, it's not a Duke where you got 3 and 4 and 5, 4 or 5 stars on the team, but is he enough do you think that they can actually try to make a run in this tournament?
Yeah, I really do, man. I really do. I know basketball is a team sport just as well as football, and you need 5 guys, and you got to have the utility workers on the floor, guys that do the dirty work, guys that go out there and defend. But when you have a leader like him and you have a guy that can score at all 3 levels, like you say, can rebound, can shoot, can pass the ball, can do so many things on the floor, man, you just kind of ride his back. You ride his back and you just do the simple things. So I actually do think that he can lead them far.
Yeah.
I don't think they can win it, but because of what's around him. And like I said, it's 5 men that have to put in work, but I think he can lead them far.
Yeah, I actually got BYU getting all the way to the Sweet 16. A lot of people have them losing to Texas tonight.
Now, I don't think they'll lose to Texas.
Yeah, Texas hasn't shown me anything all year. I know they got a close win in the play-in game and all of that, and they got momentum. Yeah, I don't think that's going to matter. I think they haven't seen nobody like A.J. DeBonster this year, and that's what makes all the teams in the Big 12 so dangerous. Me and Rocky were talking about on Tuesday, is that they've seen everybody. Yeah, you got the huge team like Arizona with Koa Pete and all those guys. You got U of H, who's got all the scrappy dudes that play defense.
And Fleming.
Yeah. You got Cam Fleming at U of H. You got DeBonsta over at BYU. Man, he's got Darren Peterson at Kansas. If you play in the Big 12, you've seen everything.
You've seen everything, yeah.
So that's what I think makes a team like BYU so dangerous. I got them getting an upset win in the second round if they beat Texas tonight against a team like Gonzaga. So we'll wait to see if that can come true. But I agree with you. I think DeBonsta, man, he's got the goods. He's got enough to be able to get his team at least a couple of wins, I feel like, in this tournament. Looking at all the number 1 seeds, we got Florida in the South, Michigan in the Midwest, Duke, who already got a win in the East, and then Arizona, who will be playing tomorrow as well. Who do you think is obviously Arizona and Duke come in with the 2 best records in this one. If you had to take somebody out of those number 1 seeds, as far as who could fall out first, who would you probably pick?
I would take Florida out.
Mm-hmm.
I would. I know they play in a strong SEC, which is just as strong as the Big 12, I would think. But the bottom part of the SEC is raggedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Big 12, you got to go fight every night. I would think Michigan State probably. I would have put Michigan State. It was one of those teams. St. John's could have been one of those teams I could have put in, and then Iowa State. I would have, those are all the 2. So, but Florida State would have been that team, and Florida State didn't start off hot, but they got better as the season progressed.
They did.
So, I mean, I can see why they did give them that number 1 seed, but if it was any number 1 seed that I would take out, it would be them.
Yeah, Florida, I have my reservations about teams in the tournament that play really big. Florida plays really big. They put big lineups out there. They'll go 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", all at the same time. And when you play one of these scrappy, quick teams that can shoot threes, a St. Mary's, a Gonzaga, somebody like that, it can get ugly. I've seen it over and over in this tournament over the years.
And in the NCAA tournament, March Madness is all about guard play to me.
Yeah.
And it always has been. Since, always. From Michael Jordan all the way to Kemba Walker, to Tyus Edney, to all of these guys. It's always been about guard play to me. And if you got great guards, I just think that it gives you an advantage.
And I got U of H going all the way in my bracket, and a lot of it is because of exactly what you just said. Great guard play. U of H is a scrappy team that can play defense. But Fleming's that they got as a freshman, man, that dude is special. I watched him all year long. He fried my Baylor Bears a couple of times when we played him in some close games. And, yeah, he can really go all the way. That's why I like this Houston team. Same with teams like Arizona. They've got the size and they've got the guard play to go along with it, man. So many really good teams. Arkansas, and what they just did. Yeah. I forgot that. I forgot that DJ Wagner was still even on the team. I mean, this is a guy that was the number 1 point guard coming out of high school a couple of years ago.
And he's taking the back seat.
Yeah, he's taking the back seat because A-Cuff is really.
And for you to hear a coach, their coach say. That he's probably the best guard that he's coached when you had Shea Gillis, you had Jamal Murray, you had John Wall, had Derrick Rose. Man, when you hear a coach like that say, hey, this may be the best guy that I've coached.
And he said it early. And when he said it early, I said, this guy is crazy. Because he's got the best pedigree of point guards probably out of any coach
ever.
John Wall, Derrick Rose, Jamal Murray, SGA. He's got MVPs. He's got first-team All-NBAs. Devin Booker. Man. I thought this guy was crazy.
Endless.
And as the season has gone on, I'm like, man, he might actually be telling the truth. This A-Cuff kid, I somehow it seems like he's getting better. Each and every game, he's still taking it to another level. In the SEC tournament, he had, 3 straight games of 30. I'm like, okay,
and they say he's
crazy.
been playing hurt.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. He's been playing hurt, and he's been putting up these type of numbers. So, man, there's no telling what this guy can do. And like I said, the March Madness is driven by point guards. And I'm thinking he's probably the best point guard in this whole tournament.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how far he takes Arkansas.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how far these guys can go. They put a beat down on Hawaii. I seen, everybody has these hot picks for, this is going to be the upset game. This is going to be the upset game. Some kind of way, some people were picking Hawaii as one of the upset games. And I'm like, I don't know what
Arkansas. Y'all been watching this.
Me
Y'all thought
neither,
Hawaii
man.
was about to go in there and get a
because
win.
they've gotten better as the season progressed.
Yes, each and every week they get better and
yeah.
better playing. And like you said, the SEC that's at the bottom. I would say probably my least favorite number 1 seed would be Michigan. I know that's a lot of people's favorites going forward, but it's because the same reason you said about Florida. The bottom of the Big Ten is just really bad.
The bottom of the Big Ten is bad.
You beat up on some bad. They got 30 wins, but they got 30 wins against some bad teams.
Yeah.
You're playing Rutgers and Northwestern and all these different teams. Maryland. Like, these teams ain't did nothing all year long. So, but I'm interested to see who's going to be that first number 1 to fall. Duke got a pretty close scare earlier. I got to ask you about your Red Raiders. You mentioned them a little bit. Would have been probably one of the toughest outs. Still going to be a tough out, but one of the toughest outs going into the tournament if JT Toppin didn't get hurt. And then obviously in the tournament, the young guard Christian Anderson got hurt, but he said he's going to play in that game versus Akron tomorrow. Do you think these guys have enough to still be able to make a run? Obviously, they're still well coached. They got a great team around them. Christian Anderson will be back. But without JT Toppin, who was giving you, 22 and 12 every single night,
it's just so hard to replace that, that type of production in a lineup. It's hard. And this guy's a senior leader, so you're missing your senior leader. I just think I think they'll be okay for the night, and then tonight they might not be okay.
Yeah,
but I just think I mean because the 5-12 is always
scary.
It's always scary. That's always the seed that get knocked out first is the 5, and so I'm thinking they'll be okay tonight because of their defense and their defense tenacity, but. After that, I don't know, and I'm a Red Raider through and through. Yeah. But I don't know if we're going to have enough without JT.
Yeah, it really hurt when you get those injuries late in the season like that. He got hurt in February, and Christian Anderson gets hurt in the tournament. So it's always tough to try to battle back from that. But we've seen a team like Duke that's dealing with a lot of injuries. They were able to come out and get a victory. Wasn't easy. They had to go out there and earn it. But they were still able to go out and get a victory. Still some really good games coming on tonight. Let's look at a couple of these games here that are still left to play on the slate for tonight. North Carolina and VCU just got tipped off a second ago. Same situation that we're talking about with Texas Tech. North Carolina, pretty good team, but when Caleb Wilson got hurt and out for the season, that was your best player giving you 20 and 10 every night.
Right.
It's kind of tough to be able to get a win. VCU, kind of like Siena, they're just one of those upset teams. When you see VCU on the schedule in the tournament, you get scared a little bit.
Yeah, because these guys are coming to play.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they have history on their side where Virginia Commonwealth has knocked off some teams. So they have a history of going to the tournament and knocking out teams. So, man, they want to go out there and they want to replicate that, and they want to be – this is their season. This is their big thing. This is their chance for them to play on CBS, True, or TNT and see and show the world what they have because they feel like they can compete against the big boys. And this is your opportunity. So, like, they're expected to lose, so what are we playing for? What are we playing for? We have nothing to lose.
Yeah, that's the same way I feel. I when you go out there and you got nothing to lose, you're playing against a team that's beat up, and they're trying to figure out how to win without their top guys. That now other guys have different roles. Now you maybe have to shoot the ball a little bit more. Maybe a guy that doesn't play as much got to come in off the bench.
Exactly, man, and you can get all the recognition in the world. I mean, it's all about championship pedigree, and you have a chance for your family, your friends, and everybody to watch you on television and for you to show up. You forgot, like, all of these guys that come out of these schools and they go to these colleges, they were the man in high school. They were the man in high school, so they want to show people that, hey, I'm still the man. So, man, you go out and you play your hardest. And, you had an opportunity on the big stage, so now you go to play.
Yeah, VCU, that one's tipping off right now. I think that's a dangerous game. I picked VCU in that game
I
to
picked
get the
North
win.
Carolina, but after that, North Carolina goes out for me.
I have both of them. Either one, whoever wins out of this one, losing in the next round. Moving forward. BYU and Texas. Who you like in this one?
I like BYU. I like BYU. Texas hadn't showed me anything as a team. I know they got a win the other night, but they hadn't shown me anything. And they got one big guy in the middle, and they got a point forward. I think that can play that made the shot the other day. But other than that, I don't see any scoring that they have other than that.
Yeah, that's what made their game so tough a couple nights ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think they have enough scoring. And then you got a guy like DeBonza that goes out, man, and can give you 30. Easily, and he can do it in different types of ways. Like you say, he's a 3-level player, and he can score on all 3 levels. So I just think he gives them a big advantage in this Texas BYU game.
Yeah, I like BYU in this one too. Give me DeBonza in this game for sure. Texas, I don't think has even played somebody like that this year. I got a couple of SEC teams losing tonight. We kind of spoke about the SEC a little bit. Last year's tournament, as I said, they put a bunch of teams in, but over half of those teams did not produce as they got into the tournament. I kind of feel similar about a couple of these SEC teams. The first one getting ready to play at 6:30, Texas A&M playing St. Mary's. A&M, a team that kind of snuck in. I think they were the last SEC team to get into the tournament. St. Mary's is a well-oiled machine. If you watch March Madness, you know about St. Mary's year in and year out.
And they play in that same conference with Gonzaga. And so I'm with you, Jalen. I picked St. Mary's to beat Texas A&M tonight.
Yeah. I don't give A&M much of a chance. They kind of one of those underachieving teams, in my opinion. They went 21-11 this year, but still got into the conference. I'll take St. Mary's in that one. The other one I have losing is Georgia, who comes in as an 8 seed, similar record as A&M. They were 22-10, playing against a St. Louis team that can really shoot the ball. That went 28-5 this year.
And see, man, I'm thinking, man, that you probably copied my bracket picks because I picked St. Louis in that one as well. So I'm with you. I'm not really high on the SEC.
Yeah.
I think St. Louis wins it. St. Louis is also a tough team that comes out of a tough conference, and they're going to give it everything they have. I mean, this is a team that's going to go play against Marquette and those guys every year, and they're in a tough conference, and they have been traditionally good.
Yes.
And so I don't see any reason why that should change. And they just have a history with the NCAA tournament, and I picked them to beat Georgia tonight.
Yeah, Georgia, another one of those teams in the SEC that just hasn't shown me a lot. They got some wins, but they got some bad losses.
You've been looking at my bracket, Jalen. You've been looking at my bracket.
No, we've just both watching the game. We see what's going on out there. 2 teams I think will be safe tonight. Some people had slight upset alert because it's that 3 and 14 matchup. First one is Illinois versus Pennsylvania. I think Illinois will be fine. They actually got a really good squad.
I think I picked Illinois as well.
Yeah.
I just think, you got to go out with the expectation that these guys are coming in to beat you. It's all about mindset at this point. You have more talent than these guys, but these guys are going to come out and play hard, so you have to match that energy, and you have to go out and you have to do the same thing.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, they'll come out and play hard against them, but, that'll be their Super Bowl. Illinois is another one of those teams like Duke that's just really fundamentally sound. They got another really great freshman as well. Illinois. I kind of like Illinois in the tournament this year. And then the other one, Gonzaga versus Kennesaw State. If you're a team like Kennesaw State looking to come in and get an upset, it's hard to get an upset on those mid-major teams like Gonzaga because they're coming in prepared. This is what they wait on is the tournament. They blow through their conference outside of playing against St. Mary's and a couple other teams in their conference. They're blowing through conference. They're just coming getting ready for the national tournament. I think Gonzaga takes care of business tonight.
Yeah. And I'm with you. A team like Gonzaga, well coached, and you're gonna have to have more talent to beat them.
Yeah.
And if you don't have more talent, you're not gonna beat them with coaching strategy or this, that, and another. And they're gonna go out and they're gonna play hard. And like I said, they're well coached, and you have to be prepared, and you have to have a better talent than they have to beat those types of teams.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think talent is definitely the only way. You're not going to outwork a Gonzaga. Like you said, you're rarely going to outcoach a Mark Few team and Gonzaga out there. You really just have to have studs that can just go and get it, and that's how you beat them. With a team like Kennesaw that's already undermatched, I don't give them much of a chance in this one at all. Those are some of the games that are coming on tonight, folks. Really good games already going on. Some really great games have already happened. Any teams that you saw play today that you're like, okay, these guys might have a chance to actually do something that's played so far? For me, it was Nebraska. I think I picked Nebraska to kind of go far just because they had a really good record this year. They're a defensive team and defensively solid. But, man, to see them just come out from start to finish against a Troy team that was actually pretty decent and just dominate from the beginning. I'm like, okay, maybe Nebraska can maybe they can go on a little bit of a run. Maybe they can get to a Sweet 16 or something like that. But any teams like that you saw that you're like, okay, maybe these guys can
Arkansas for me.
Yeah.
Arkansas and Calipari, a young team that has progressively gotten better throughout the season. And Calipari is all about March Madness. And I think they had the best point guard in the whole tournament. So Arkansas is one of those teams. They go out and they take care of business today. But they're one of those teams that I just think that will do well.
Yeah, I agree. Arkansas is definitely going to be must-watch TV. The guard play is off the charts. When you think about, Darius Acuff, obviously, but then you still got DJ Wagner and you still got the other young kid that almost had a triple-double today. Man, they've got some great guard play. Can't expect much less from a John Calipari team than to have a bunch of really good guard play. So they're going to be super fun to watch, folks. March Madness in full effect. Games coming on tomorrow. Still some really fun ones. I think we still got some more upsets that could potentially be brewing on the setup for tomorrow. I don't think it's over with just High Point. I think a couple teams tomorrow got a chance to come out and make some noise and get some upsets. Hopefully none of my number one seeds, though. Duke, y'all already scared me enough today. Hopefully none of the number one seeds do anything like that. But still some really fun games moving forward. Wayne, I know you watch women's basketball like myself on the college side. I want to talk a little bit about the women's bracket. They'll start their campaigns tomorrow as well, and they'll play tomorrow and Saturday for their games. Unlike the men's side, on the men's side, when you get to the end of your bracket and you see all number one seeds, you start kind of removing it around like, man, I don't think all number one seeds are going to get there. On the women's side, you can almost pencil in all four of those number one seeds getting to the Final Four and moving forward.
Yeah. I don't think it's a lot of parity in women's basketball as it is in men's basketball. Yeah. And so you can almost count on the number 1, 2, and 3 seeds kind of moving on.
Yep.
You may have one that kind of slips out and looks up, but other than that, you don't have a lot of Cinderella stories.
No.
And so, like you said, you can almost kind of guarantee that there's number 1 or number 2 seed is going to end up as in the Final Four.
Yeah, in my Final Four, I got all 4 number 1 seeds moving. Honestly, I don't even see a number 2 or 3 that could challenge them outside of LSU, who's a number 2 seed, but they're playing in the same one as UCLA, and man, UCLA is a really, really tough team. I'm always rooting for Don Staley in South Carolina. Until somebody knocks them off, that's who I'm going to be rooting for outside of the Lady Bears as well. But this UConn team, man, I
don't see anybody beating them.
I don't see how they can lose. They haven't lost all year long.
I don't see anybody beating them. Yeah. I see them as a clear-cut favorite in the women's bracket. And I think they'll be probably playing UCLA.
Yeah.
And that's what my women's bracket is. But like you say, we probably had the same bracket in the Final Four, but I just don't see anybody upsetting UConn. If UConn go out and plays the way I've seen them play all year, I don't see anybody beating them. They have size, they have guards, they have everything.
Everything. I just want, how does Coach Gino keep putting out these squads? I forget what the number of times is. I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th time that he's went undefeated in a season. Like it just crazy. They're 34-0. They're battle-tested. They're not 34-0 and just playing bad teams. They played just about everybody, and they're 34-0. Ozzie Fudd has been phenomenal at the guard. Like you said, they got guards and they got post players. Sarah Strong has been phenomenal since last year, her freshman year as well. Only thing I hate on the women's side, man, is that USC is not at full health with Juju Watkins and now the young freshman they got in Jazzy Davidson and all that. Next year, if Juju decides to come back and play next year, they're going to have a really, really tough squad because they think now 3 years in a row they've got the number 1 player in the nation out of high school. They're building a squad over there at USC. But as far as UConn, I don't see anybody beating these girls this year. UCLA has a really good chance to be able to make it to the finals, like you said. LSU, honestly, I mean, there's only 4 spots in the Final Four. I would have picked LSU to get into one of those spots, but they can't beat South Carolina because I think they beat them 9 straight games or something like that they beat LSU. Same with Texas and Madison Booker. They've had a phenomenal year winning the SEC as well. So I see those 4 really making it to the Final Four.
Who are some of those players you like to watch? I always say that the women's side always has a lot more star power because they got to
like
stay
Booker,
for 4 years.
I like Booker, Betts. I like Johnson. They have some players. They have star power on the women's side of basketball. But I like Booker. I think she's a great player. And also Betts from UCLA.
Yeah, Lauren Betts.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just as competitive as on the men's side. But like I said, it's just not a lot of parity. But every tournament is going to have great players. But Betts, I love Booker because we're regional.
Yeah.
And so I get to see a lot of her games.
Texas
So I've
games,
seen her more than I've seen anybody, and she's come through every time. So,
every time for the last 3 or 4 years. It's crazy. She's a senior. She feel like she's been in Texas for so long, they've been doing their thing, man. And I'm glad to see that they finally got that number 1 seed. Usually in her career, they've come in as a 2 seed or 3 seed, and they lose to a South Carolina or to somebody else. But seeing them beat South Carolina in the SEC tournament, I'm like, okay, they got a chance to be able to do something moving forward. The Lady Bears are in it. Baylor makes another tournament appearance. They come in as a 6 seed. They'll play against Nebraska tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Baylor, not one of the super dominant team. We've seen the Lady Bears have some really dominant teams, but nonetheless, they got a pretty decent squad. I give them a chance to be able to make some noise a little bit because, as we spoke about guard play, and they got Talia Scott, who's averaging 20 a game, so she can go out there and get her shot off. I'll give Baylor a chance to definitely get out of the first round against Nebraska, and after that, I think they'll be able to put up a pretty good fight against Duke in that second round. What do you think about the Lady Bears making the tournament, really holding it up for Baylor because the men they didn't get anything close to the tournament.
I think the men play tonight, but they play in Las Vegas. Man. It's a tournament we don't know anything about. But just to echo what you said, Baylor women, they have been competitive this year. Was leading the conference for a minute and kind of fell back a little bit. But I think they'll make a strong showing. Like you say, it's not one of their best teams, but it's one of those teams that you really don't know about because they've been up and down.
Yeah.
But it just depends on how they play and how they come out to play. And they can beat anybody or they can lose to anybody. I seen a game where they played against TCU. Went to the game and Miles torched them. I mean, 10 threes. So if that team comes out to play, they're not going anywhere. But, so when you come to the tournament, tournament time, man, you got to be ready to go. And I'm wondering if they're going to be ready. They have to be ready, or they'll be back in Waco.
Yeah, or they'll be back here. So they got a tough game tomorrow versus the Nebraska team. I think they'll be able to come out and get a victory in that one. But as you said, when you're a team like that, you can beat just about anybody, but you can also lose to just about anybody. So we'll see what Coach Nikki has planned for her Lady Bears. They'll play tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Let's look at a couple local topics here as we just talked about the Lady Bears. Former MCC Highlander, somebody that we got a chance to watch for a couple of years, and a kid that came out of Killeen as well. Evan Chapman jumping in the transfer portal. He was at UAB, transferred from MCC, got a scholarship over at UAB. Now jumping into the transfer portal after having a season where he's almost averaging a double-double. The kid is 6'8". He can shoot the ball. I'm actually happy for the kid because I know you'll get a chance to move up. I think he can play Power 4 basketball for sure. He proved it at UAB this year playing in a really competitive Conference USA. And he was one of their main guys out there. So I'm happy for him getting a chance to transfer. And I'm hoping and looking forward to him getting a chance to play at a really big program like I think he can. Maybe Coach Drew and those guys, after the season they had, they need to be giving guys like this a call that are local guys that's local proven guys, he can come in and win. He's got a couple years of eligibility left. He can stretch the floor, physical kind of guy. So I'm happy for Evan Chapman.
And I am too, man. You take advantage of the situation. And it is... There's so many levels to it now that you can go to a junior college, then move on to a mid-major college, and then go and produce at the junior college, go and produce at the mid-major, and then you can transfer and get into the portal and go even to a bigger school, to a Power 5. And I think he'll have the opportunity to do that, make some money. And basically, he's taking advantage of the opportunity that's been given to him, and he's balling out. And like you said, I'm happy for him. Local kid, played here at MCC.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm just wishing him the best, and I hope he gets paid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping he's getting paid, man, because he definitely took the hard route, man. It's not easy going down to JUCO when you're, especially a guy like that. I'm sure had offers from other places, but he said, "Let me go and better myself at MCC," which he did. Got better over those 2 years. Goes to a UAB. He had 11 games where he had a double-double. You're showing that you can play with the big guys. He's got the size. A lot of the guys that transfer from the smaller ranks, they don't have the size. Man, the dude is 6'8", and he can shoot the ball. I remember when he played with Harker Heights, we did the MT Rice tournament when he was still in high school, and, man, they had a squad. They had
I did one. I did a couple of his games.
Yeah.
You know, and, man, the kid can play.
Yeah, they had the tight end that's playing for your Texas Tech Red Raiders, Carter. He was on that team as well, too, man. They had a squad out there playing at Harker Heights. But, yeah, shout out to him, man. And like you said, I'm happy to see him go and get paid because that's what's coming.
And this is the thing that we're dealing with now. Mm-hmm. Like, kids like that, like the NIL portal is hurting, like, college. Well, it's hurting the high school sports.
Yeah.
Because now, you know, you want to take these kids that has experience that's coming out of junior college that's good, or coming out of another school that has got some experience. And so now you have to be really elite in the high school area, or you have to go to junior college. That's the route you have to take to get there.
Yeah.
And that's the route this kid took, and he's made it, and he's made the most of his opportunities, and I'm happy for him. And like I said, just take advantage of it and go get paid, my brother.
Yeah, definitely, man. Happy for him. His dad's a good dude. Used to come to all the games, man. Shout out to the Chapman family, man. You guys, I think he's going to have a good year and got a chance to get to the league, man. We said when he was at MCC, he got the size. If you got size and you can shoot the ball, you got a chance.
You got a chance
going out there. And we know he can play a little bit of defense because he played for Coach Gill. And you're not getting on the court if you ain't going to play no defense playing for Coach Gill. So definitely shout out to him. But that was what you just spoke about was a great segue into this next topic. Coach Dave Aranda, the head coach for the Baylor Bears, their football squad, sat down and talked with Matt Mosley and talked about a few different things in his recruiting. He said that he made his biggest mistake that he made in recruiting was spending too much money on high school recruits who ended up standing on the sideline. And this is something that we've talked about on this show throughout the year. It's tough to go out and pay these high school kids to come in, 18 years old, 17 years old. You have no idea what they're going to play like and once they get into college. You have no idea if it's going to translate. And you got teams like the Indiana Hoosiers who just won out there playing with 23, 24, and 25-year-olds.
And you know, and the thing about it is you might not even have a chance to see those kids finish their college career because your job depends on it.
Yep.
You know, so why am I going to go out and pay a kid that I see on a high school level rather than go out and get a kid that I see that's at a Division I school that can do it? And I know he can do it on that level. So one thing about high school and the transition to college, you don't know. You have these kids that's out district, that's out state, but you don't know who they playing against. When you can get film work on a kid that played in junior college or another Division I school that's coming out of the portal, I want to pay this kid before I'm paying a kid out of high school that's not proven against elite talent.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done. So basically he's saying he's wasted money because these kids coming out and they standing on the sideline.
They sit there, and then when they don't stand on the sideline, they're going to transfer to somebody else's sideline.
Yeah.
It's so tough. Like you said, that was a great point. You might not even see these guys at the end of their college career because you could be fired if you have another bad season, which, I mean, Coach Aranda, we know he's on the hot seat.
Yeah,
if he goes out and has another season like they just had, he'll be gone. So you won't see any of these freshmen that you recruited and gave that money to. And then on top of that, whether you like them, play them, whatever, they can jump right in the transfer portal and go get some more money from somebody else.
Right.
So it's really dangerous to recruit, especially in football, to recruit these high school kids like that.
And so now the deal is you have to make sure that kid can play, that he can play on that level. You have to be 100% sure that this kid, because now you don't have a chance to develop.
No.
You want the kids that's already developed.
Yep.
I mean, and that's that's the thing that's messing up high school.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, because now if you say, well, you want to get the top 100 recruits in the state of Texas, that's probably going to be good. But it's those other guys that you really don't know anything about, and then you taking a chance on these kids, and you going out and you paying them money. You don't know what's going to happen with them. You don't know if they can play against elite talent because of what they played against in high school. Texas is so populated as far as football. You got the kids from all the way from 1A to 6A, and you know these kids on the 6A level, they play against 6A talent, but if you go to San Antonio and you go to a 6A school and you get a kid from a 6A, you got to make sure he can play because he's not playing against nothing in his district.
Yeah.
You know? And so, I mean, right now it's just so cloudy as far as high school athletes, and then you go out and you pay these kids and you don't even never know if they'll ever develop and play for you because you have to develop kids. And now you don't get a chance.
Developing them,
now you don't get a chance to really develop them. Because you want to win now. Everything is at a win now cost. I mean, you know, so that's the whole problem with the NIL.
And I think NIL is if it's done nothing else, it's definitely sped up everybody's timeline. If you're a coach, you don't have 5-6 years to try to sit down and develop unless you've really established yourself as a coach. Because if not, man, like you said, you'll recruit a guy, and by his senior year, you won't be there still.
You won't be there.
He probably won't be there still. He'll probably have transferred to 2 or 3 other schools by that time.
And now you got to go in and you have to be able to go in and you got to negotiate contracts and talk money with kids and this, that, and other. And these coaches on the college level, they don't know how to do that. And then when you get to the NFL, the coaches don't negotiate money. It's the GM, and player personnel type guys that do that. So now you have to go out and get a whole new guy to come in and do those things for you, and you talk. I mean, your job should be able to, you should just be able to coach. Well, now you don't have, you can't do that because you can't develop, because you used to be able to have a 4-year transition with a guy, and a guy come in as a freshman, he weigh 170 pounds, you put him in the weight room, run him and this, that, and other, and by the time he gets a junior, he's ready to play for you. But now you don't have time to develop guys to get them ready to play.
Nope. They'll transfer out if you don't play them. You coach them too hard and they're not getting any playing time, you'll end up losing the kid. It's made it a lot tougher. It's not impossible for these coaches to go out here and do this, but it's definitely made it a lot tougher.
It's made it a lot tougher.
With the
it's
NIL.
not impossible. I mean, like I said, you got to have a sure thing, and you have to know somebody that you know that's going to be able to play for you in a couple of years. And then when you go out and you get these elite players in high school, they ready to step in and play, and you don't know if they're ready to play. And then if they don't play, then they going somewhere.
They're going to leave. It's made it tougher on them. And but one thing I know, the scouting department has gone up. You got to do some real scouting. If you're one of these colleges now, whoever's on your scouting department, you better make sure he's a real guy, because you got to recruit everything. He can't just be high school, can't just be transfers. It's got to be a mix of a little bit of everything. And then you see kids like Trinidad Chambers and what he was able to do at Ole Miss. That's scouting and that's recruiting. This guy that was coming from the D2 level and was able to come all the way up and get Ole Miss almost to a championship.
And this guy wasn't even a starter when he got there.
No, wasn't a starter at all.
I mean, like you say, that's good recruiting, good scouting, and you got to have that right now on the college level. If not, I mean, you're gonna be left in the dust.
Yeah, you'll be out of there at college. So huge dynamic changes in NIL. Coach Aranda got a chance to talk about that a little bit. I'll talk more about the Baylor Bears. We get more into the summer, man. I got to see what does this product look like. He says they've made an overhaul. You know, we went and recruited some guys that played a lot of football, and I've heard a lot of these speeches. We'll have to see once we get into the summer. Shout out to DJ Lagway though. They got him to come down here. I just don't know who he's going to be playing with. Let's look at a couple of these quick takes here while we got some time left on here. I tried to ask this to our friend Mr. Rocky Miller. He said he ain't watching no baseball, so I ask you about it, man. USA, they lose against Venezuela. I don't watch a lot of baseball, but definitely anytime I see the USA jerseys go up, I'm going to be tuned in and watching. And then we put together a squad this year. Me and you were talking off camera. A lot of the years, we don't have a star power playing in the World Baseball Classic. It'll be
some lower level guys. I've even seen college guys going out there in the World Baseball Classic. But this year, we brought out some dogs. We brought the Aaron Judges. We brought the Bryce Harpers with us. We brought the Bregmans and these different guys. But wasn't able to get over the hump still. They got past the Dominican Republic just barely, but couldn't squeeze past Venezuela. The old adage in baseball is great pitching always beats great hitting, and it showed right there in front of in front of the world with Venezuela getting the win. What do you think about USA falling short in the championship game?
Well, my deal with this is we brought out our best, but man, we don't put a much emphasis on the game as these players that's playing for their country.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, these are third world countries. You're talking about Venezuela. Man, it's a poor country.
Yeah.
So, man, they playing for their country. They putting it all on the line for their country. Man, did you see the celebration that they had afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was a big deal to them. Like they said, their country will be celebrating for the next 2 weeks because of this victory. In the U.S., if we would have won it, some people wouldn't even known about it. Like people like Rocky Miller. Wouldn't even known about it. But for them, their whole country knows about that victory, and their whole country is celebrating. It means so much to them to go out there and win. So it's just like March Madness. They're gonna put everything on the line to go out there and win it.
And that's what they did, man. In Venezuela, like you said, one of those smaller countries, this means something to those guys. You could see on their faces as they won, the celebration that they were going off of. And you could see on USA's faces that it's like, man, we mad, but I got a $100 million contract. Like, I ain't that mad. Them other guys in Venezuela, they don't got no $100 million contract. A couple of them got some big money, but most of those, 90% of those guys, they not making no money like that.
I guarantee you, if anybody on the USA won, no one would have been crying. They had 5 or 6 guys that was crying, man. That's how much it meant to them, these guys, and for their country. They said, we're not playing for us, we're playing for our country. And you would think the USA guys are playing for them, you know. And so it has a whole different meaning for guys that play somewhere else. That's just like Japan when they won it. They're playing for their country. They wanted to show their dominance over the United States, and that's how it's going to always be in the Olympics, World Baseball Classic, FIBA, soccer tournament, whatever it is. When you playing against that red, white, and blue and that USA on, they going to come with it.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to be USA. No matter what sport, we could be playing fencing, tennis, no matter what it is. They want to beat USA.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about it a little bit before we started here. The biggest deal that USA had, and it's been their biggest deal, nobody wants to send their pitcher to go play in the World Baseball Classic. We can get the Aaron Judges, we can get the Bryce Harpers.
We can get the bats.
But nobody wants to send anybody out of their bullpen.
You can get the bats.
And the restriction hurt us. We didn't have a closer in that game. And Venezuela had a closer. So that's what really hurt. How do you think USA could kind of change some of this? Because now this is 2 years in a row of losing in the championship game. So going into 2029, they're going to want to do something different.
You're going to have to make some changes because it's the MLB clubs, ball clubs, that's putting restrictions on their players. Like Paul Skeens, you can't pitch no more than 3 innings. You know, I mean, if this guy is going up and he's striking out everybody and he's in the 3rd inning, you can't send him out of 4th inning because he has restrictions. So when it comes to Venezuela, they don't have restrictions. they had one guy that was restricted, and he was a closer, and what they told him was, and he told the club, if we're winning and I need to go out, they said only if it's a tie, only if they're winning. If it's a tie, they didn't want him to go out. And he called him and said, even if it's a tie, I'm going out. Because I'm playing for my country.
It means, like you said, it means something.
You can't have these restrictions, so they need to do it. I think they need to do it around about All-Star break, where they know the pitcher's arms are conditioned, and then you have this series, and then you come back and you play the rest of the season. Because if not, beginning of the season, you're going to have this restriction because one thing about it, the pitching is always ahead of the hitting early in the season. But you're not going to go out there and you're not going to want your guy to go out and throw 7 to 8 innings, 5 or 6 innings, because you're trying to condition his arm. So that's what you're going to always run into with the USA. And it needs to be some changes, and I think we need to move it from the beginning of the season to the middle of the season, just like they do with hockey.
Yeah, I've seen that. A lot of people talking about that, kind of almost like a mid-season tournament that they would change it to. So everybody's in shape already. We're already here. Don't have to worry about the injuries like that because everyone is already in form. By July, everyone is in form.
Right,
Everybody's been playing for a couple of months. We know what's going on. So I agree. I think that's the only way to do it because as of right now, can't keep going out there and just losing in the championship game. USA, we always got that feeling as Americans we can win in anything we go out there and compete in.
Right.
But in the last few times, haven't been able to go out there and close the deal. You lose to Japan and then backdoor lose to Venezuela the next time out. Baseball season around the corner, man. Anybody that you see knocking off the Dodgers? Because it seems like they just keep building their team.
The Dodgers
2 in a row now.
Roster and what they have as far as pitching, hitting, and the complete roster. They have a complete roster. They have 7 guys that can go out there and kill you in their lineup. I just don't see nobody getting past it. I don't. And then they went out and paid for a closer. They got some pitchers. Then you got the best player in baseball.
Yeah, Shohei.
You got Shohei. And so, and then you have a bunch of all-stars around him. So I just don't think anybody can beat him. Yankees, nobody. I think the Dodgers is the model team in baseball right now, and they're paying it just like they are. They paying a bunch of money. I think they got a $1 billion roster.
And they're probably one of the main reasons why a lot of teams are starting to try to lobby for a salary cap now in the MLB because they're like, man, if we're just going to keep letting it be like this, no one's ever going to beat the Dodgers. They're just going to keep doing this. They got one of the richest ownership groups, same ownership group that's part with the Lakers, same ownership group that's part of LA Kings, the LA Rams, and all these guys. They got one of the richest ownership groups. They're like, we can't hardly compete with these guys. If you're the Kansas City Royals, you'll never be able to compete with the Dodgers.
And the thing about it, they paying taxes.
Yeah, yep.
They paying taxes on this. They paying luxury taxes on these guys, and they don't mind doing it. So they have lots of money.
Plenty of money to spend out there with the Dodgers. I'm like you. I won't be watching all season long, but I don't see anybody beating this Dodgers team, man. They won 2 in a row for a reason. Why not make it 3? I think it's a dynasty brewing out here for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's look at some other news here. In the WNBA, huge step made for the WNBA as a new CBA finally agreed upon. And some of these ladies are going to start being able to get paid. They moved the salary cap up from $1.5 million to $7 million. That moves the league minimum all the way up to $300K. I think the biggest contract in WNBA history was Jackie Young, who just signed, I think it was last year, for like $400,000 a year or something like that. Now for the league minimum to be $300K, and your biggest contract in history was $500K, man, that's a huge step for the WNBA. The average salary will move to about $600K now. They're going to get the average revenue share. They'll get 20% going, and now the Supermax in the WNBA will be $1.5 million for one of the players to go out there and get a Supermax. So if you're coming from the NBA or NFL, you'll say, man, these numbers are low. But if you see where it's been at for the last 27, 28 years to now get to this, man, that's a huge step for the WNBA. What do you think about the new salary cap and new rules going on in WNBA now?
I'm loving it, man. I mean, these owners are so freaking rich, man. That, and they're making money on you.
Absolutely.
But you have to reinvest in the players. And 1.4 is not a lot of money to spend. $300,000 is a lot. That's a lot of money. Yeah. That's a bigger raise than whatever. I mean, that's the average salary.
Yeah,
right?
That'd be the minimum. The average salary would be around $600,000.
Yeah, the minimum salary is $300,000
over what the max was.
So you know that when you go and negotiate your contract, that you're not just gonna get the minimum unless you're a veteran or something like that, and they'll say, "Well." But when you come in as a rookie and they say, well, we want to negotiate, you know you're going to be closer to that $500,000, $600,000 range. Man, this is life-changing for them.
It is.
Better health benefits, better everything. But it is life-changing. It'll stop the players from the U.S. from going to play in Japan
play
and all
overseas
these third
all
world
summer.
countries and this, that, and because now you have a chance to make a life and a living here
Yes.
just by playing WNBA, and you can put everything into it.
Life-changing money, man. I've seen so many of the players excited about this.
I mean, you have to be.
Yeah.
That's more money than I made
Yeah.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
And we had a big television contract then, but today the way money is moving with the bigger television contract and these billionaire owners they got that's making money because the WNBA and the revenue sharing, you don't think it's big, but that is actually big because you have player cards, you have players on games. You have jerseys that sell. You have all this stuff that sells. And the only people that were getting paid from this were the teams.
Yep.
Now you have to share 20% of that with the
20%.
players, and then they split it up into one big check, and then they split it up into all the players getting a part of that.
Yeah.
As long as you're a part of that WNBA Players Association. So that's actually big, man. It's bigger than you ever think it is because those numbers go up. I remember being on Tecmo Bowl and my card, my NFL card. That's a part of revenue sharing and the jersey stuff. And I remember my first check I got was for $2,500. It was during the season. My second check I got, that thing was probably like $5,500. And then my third one I got, it just keeps going up and up.
Going up. Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's just actually a good thing for the whole WNBA. I'm happy for them, man, because you don't want to see anybody just top heavy and making money and all the owners making money, and then we as the players, we're the entertainment, we're the one that's putting it on the floor and putting it on the line, and we're not getting paid nothing.
It never made sense. Everybody always say, "Oh, the pay gap. They need to get it closer."
They greedy. They greedy. They want money.
It is because I know that them owners wasn't making
no
$45,000 a year like they were giving these players. Caitlin Clark had the biggest rookie contract coming in last year as a rookie, or a year before that as a rookie, and it was for $80,000 a year. The owner's not making $80,000 a year; they're making a lot more money.
And she is not one of those players that's worried about it because she got a shoe contract that pays her over $13 million.
She's good. She ain't worried about what the WNBA do. But for all the other players, man, this is great news because what will it be in 5 years if you're a Paige Beckers or an Angel Reese who's on their rookie? What will the pay look like in 5 years from now, 6 years from now? So
right.
It's a huge step in the right direction for these ladies, man, and I'm definitely happy for them to be able to go out and do this. Let's talk a little bit of NBA before I switch over to the NFL. Bad news out of Detroit. Cade Cunningham, somebody that you've said you've known for a long time, knowing his pops, out with the collapsed lung moving forward. And the worst part outside of his health for this is that probably won't be eligible for a lot of the season awards now. And this is a guy that was going to be, in my opinion, first team All NBA.
Yeah, no doubt.
Gonna be getting up for a lot of different awards, maybe even most improved award. And him missing this time will probably take away his eligibility for a lot of those awards. But what do you think about him and how that hurt Detroit, who's number one seed?
Like I said, this is a kid I know since he was a kid. His dad was part of my freshman class going to Texas Tech. Keaton Cunningham who was a quarterback. Keaton never got to play, but, man, he was always proud of his son and always talking and bragging about his son and what his son was going to be able to accomplish and do. And sometimes when you hear things like that, you just say, okay, whatever. But that actually happened.
Yeah.
And it actually happened. It actually came true. He was the first pick in the draft out of Oklahoma State.
Yep.
And has been trending up. And was Rookie of the Year. And his team, I think Detroit, his first year won the least games, and then they made a 50% improvement. And probably one of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
And
number one in the
he's
East
the
right
reason
now.
why. He's one of the main, I say he's one of the main reasons why. And like you said, I thought he was going to be all NBA. This hurts Detroit a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were one of the teams that could have won the East.
Sure.
But with their leader, their leading scorer, the backbone of their team pretty much, a guy that plays defense and plays offense and shares the ball, I think it's going to be tough for them. I think he will be back at some point, but what I want to say about the NBA is you have to progressively gain momentum and get better. And once you do that, I think it helps you out a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Lakers. They've been playing their best ball lately.
Yeah.
You know, so Detroit has been kind of slacking off a little bit, but I think that they were still one of the teams to beat with Boston, Cleveland, and Detroit, and the Knicks. I think those 4 teams are the teams that could have easily won, and I think it was a toss-up.
Yeah,
but without Cade Cunningham being 100%, I just think it knocks Detroit all the way out.
Yeah, this is a team that hasn't been. I mean, you talked about them when he first got into the league. I mean, they broke the record for most losses in a row. They lost, I think, 28 games in a row. They had terrible seasons, and to turn that around and to be the number 1 seed in the East. I mean, these guys, they're 49-19. Talking about a Detroit team, like I said, they 2 years ago lost 28 games in a row. To see them doing it, when you watch Detroit play, you see why this is going to hurt so much because Cade Cunningham is their entire offense. Everything goes through him.
He's a catalyst. He's
averaging 25 and 10.
Yeah,
to be able to be their leading scorer like that, one of the top scorers in the league, and then add 10 assists on top of that every single night with guys, man, huge loss, man. Cade's been one of my favorite players since he's been in high school when he was at Arlington Martin before he went to Mount Vernon. Now, to see that, man, I definitely hope he can get better and gets back being healthy. That's definitely the most important thing out of this because he's only 24. You got a lot more years. You got to think about your health.
You got to think, and the organization has to think about his health.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I hope he gets well soon. Like I say, he's a catalyst for their team, and I don't give them a shot without him.
Yeah, it'll be tough for them moving forward. Like you said, the East wide open. Even with Tatum coming back with the Celtics injury, we don't know what that's going to look like in the playoffs. The East is going to be wide open this year. Unfortunately, the Pistons probably won't stay in that. Staying in the NBA, you just talked about them, the Lakers get 7 wins in a row. They beat up on my Rockets 2 nights in a row. Before we talk about the Lakers, I just don't understand as a Rockets fan the malpractice of not going to getting a point guard this year is insane.
Yeah,
we lose every game the exact same way. It's close, and in the last 2 minutes, we turn the ball over 3-4 times in a row and we lose. Yeah. Every game we lose the same way because we don't have a point guard. I don't understand why we didn't get anybody. I understand, Chris Paul, he's an outspoken guy and all that. He's sitting at home, and we don't have no point guard. Like, stuff like that just doesn't make sense.
And I thought that would have been the first guy that they picked
up. It should have been the first call. As soon as he got released, why are we not getting Chris Paul? Because we don't need him to score. We got scoring. We don't have any facilitating. So, hey, the Rockets, they fell off. But the LeBron goes 13 for 14 last night, drops 30. I think he had like 5 dunks. I think this dude is an alien at this point. He's 41 years old, still doing this stuff. But the Lakers, as you just said, playing their best ball. I think in this 7-game win streak, Luka's averaging like 38 again. It's just ridiculous. And watching this dude play night in and night out, he can literally score whenever he wants to score, however he wants to score. It looks like he's not even sweating out there.
And the thing about it, I think they figured out their team.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say figure out, I think LeBron is taking a backseat to Luka and Austin Reeves shooting the ball, and he's that third option now.
Yep.
Which he should be with his age and everything now. And he can do so many things. So I think they just figured out their team.
They did.
And then they even got Luka trying to play defense. So that helps out a lot. He's still not the best defensive player.
No, not
but
close.
He's playing.
He's trying. That's a big improvement.
So, and I think they well coached, and I think they just figured out their team. And I don't think that the Lakers beating the Rockets is about the Lakers. I think the Lakers beating the Rockets is all about the Rockets. The Rockets are in trouble, man. Because
big
like
trouble.
You said, they could have went and got Dennis Schroeder, who's sitting there. He was sitting there, and now he's with, I think, one of the Cavs. Or they could have got Chris Paul, but they need help bad. You relying on Reed Shepherd, and Reed Shepherd is just a spot up shooter. He can shoot. I think he's more of a 2 guard than he is a number 1. So when you lose, your guy for the rest of the season, what's his name?
Fred Van Vliet. Yeah.
Van Vliet. Man, that hurts you.
Yeah,
that hurts you because then you don't have the ball handling, and you're trying to put the ball in Kevin Durant's hand, and the Lakers had a great game plan for him. We're gonna double him every time he gets it. Every time he gets it,
somebody else shoot the ball.
Yeah, somebody else gonna shoot it. And you got some young talent on the team. You got Jamar Smith can shoot. But then you got the
Thompson twin,
Sengun.
yeah.
But he's more of a slasher. He's not a shooter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, now you put out the blueprint to beat the Lakers. To beat the Rockets.
Yeah, you have it. That's the perfect blueprint. Double Kevin Durant. He's the only decision maker on the court. We got talented guys. I mean, Thompson's great. Şengün is great. Jabari Smith. These are good basketball players. But you need a decision maker.
Yeah,
That's what your point guard does. He'll settle it down when you need a bucket. And most importantly, you see times in that fourth where they're just not even giving Kevin Durant. Like, how do we go 2 possessions in a row and KD don't touch the ball?
Right.
That's what you need a point guard for. There's no reason in the world that we can't get KD in the post.
But you trying to make him a point
Yeah,
forward.
you're trying to make him the point guard.
And it ain't happening. They just going to rush him, and then they just going to keep 2 guys on him at all times.
We shooting the ball with 3 seconds on the shot clock every time. We ain't never getting into no action early. Whatever we get into, we shooting the ball with 2 seconds left on the clock every single possession. And we all know that ain't winning basketball. I'm a Rockets fan, but I know what basketball looks like. That's not winning basketball. In the playoffs, all they're going to do is double Kevin Durant and make Thompson, who can't shoot the ball. It's that simple, and we're going to go home in the first round. So the Rockets got some issues.
Yeah, and like you said, it was a terrible mistake not going out and getting the point guard. And I almost think that you still need to go out and get one.
You still got time. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, do we got to lose every game? I think we lost. We don't lost like 6 out of the last 8 or 9 games. Do we got to lose every game for us to go and get a point guard?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Udoka, I like him as a coach, but between him and Raphael Stone, there's some flaws on how they build their team. I think Udoka's flaw is he was a role player in the NBA, and he loves role players. That's fine, but there's no reason that we don't have a point guard, but we paid Jeff Green to sit on the bench. We paid Jayshawn Tate to sit on the bench. We paid Aaron Holiday to sit on the bench. What are this is just roster spots just sitting there because you like to get your guys that are, locker room guys. That's cool. But if you see a need, hey, one of these guys got to go. They're not playing. One of these guys got to go.
I would have went and got that guy out of Portland. That
Simons that ended up going to
no. What's the guy that played in Boston?
Oh, Drew Holiday.
Holiday. I would have went and got Drew Holiday. Man, I'd have traded for him. Once Van Vliet got hurt, that's who I would have went and got.
Absolutely.
But
that would have been perfect.
I mean, nobody thinks like I do. I'm my own GM, so I don't get paid the big bucks for doing it. But
looking at the Lakers, do you think the Lakers have enough to be able to make a run? I'm like you. I think they made the perfect adjustments as far as they figured their team out. LeBron can take a backseat, finally get off the ball. This is Luka's team, and I'm glad that everyone has figured out this is Luka's team. Let Luka run the offense. LeBron, as you said, can do so many different things. But the biggest part, and that's a shout out to J.J. Redick, is they figured out what works for them defensively. And that was their biggest part that they've been trying to figure out. Do you think they have enough to try to really make a run?
I think when they run into OKC and they run into San Antonio, I think those are the beasts of the West, man.
For sure.
And those 2 teams, I don't think they have enough for them.
Yeah.
So they could be the 3rd best team in that league, and that's debating with Denver.
Yeah.
In the West.
And you still got Denver,
in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have a formidable team as far as the Lakers, but I don't think they have enough to win it all.
I think outside of San Antonio and Oklahoma City in the West, they have enough to outscore just about everybody else. But with Oklahoma City, you know what they bring defensively, and you know what SGA can do in the playoffs. And then with San Antonio, I think they're the biggest mismatch for everybody in the entire playoffs because obviously they got an 8-foot dude out there to shooting.
And then you got Castle. That Castle's a bad boy, man.
Shout out to their GM and drafting because they've been drafting so well.
And then you got guys with experience. You got De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
Then you got Harrison Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Vessel. I mean, you just loaded.
In the top 3.
The guy from Baylor that was playing so much.
Sohan.
They
got rid of him. Yeah, he on the Knicks. He on the Knicks. He ain't playing anymore.
Yeah.
And he was a lottery pick.
And he was a lottery pick. And it's like, man, hey, we got a better squad.
Yeah.
We don't need you. You free to negotiate your own trade.
Yeah. And he's over there on the Knicks right now because of that.
So that tells you what they doing in San Antonio.
A lot of talent, a lot of young team, a lot of talent, and then Wemby's just the thing that can take it over the edge because he can take over any game on both sides of the floor as well. And the best thing I like about Wemby is he's got that want to. He's got the dog where he's saying, no, I want to be better than this guy.
I want to be MVP.
And I want to beat this guy every time. That's why they're the only team that's beaten Oklahoma City multiple times.
He said he want to be MVP.
Yeah, and Defensive Player of the Year. He said he won both trophies, and that, man, he's right there to get him. SGA, I think, is going to be the MVP this year. But, man, going forward, it's going to be hard for anybody to get that MVP away from Wemby. Got a couple minutes left here on the show. I want to talk a little bit of NFL, which the draft is right around the corner. As a former receiver, I want to ask you about a couple of these receivers that are going to be in the draft because there's been a lot of talk about who's going to be that first guy off the board as far as the receivers. A really good group coming out this year, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, Mekhi Lemon, and I'll even throw Boston in on the end of there. Who do you think is going to be that first guy off the board? Because I haven't fully put out my mock draft for the first round yet, but I've been going back and forth as far as who's going to be that first guy off the list.
I think it's going to be Tate.
Yeah.
I really do. He's got the size. He's got the speed. I mean, and all of them do, you know. But I just think he plays in a more pro style. He comes from Ohio State where they have been productive. You know, Hartline has been their coach, their receiver coach, and he's produced and developed receivers that's been in the NFL that has been successful. So when you look at that pedigree and that background that's come with it, I think it's going to be Carnell Tate. I like Concepcion from Texas A&M too. He's small, but I think he's a playmaker, and he can do multiple things. I think Boston is great. I think Tyson is great.
Yeah.
But I just think it's going to be Carnell Tate.
Yeah, I agree. I think Carnell Tate, he just fits the mold, like you said, as a pro. He's 6'2", already coming in 200 pounds. The dude's got speed. But what he's got over everybody else, in my opinion, is the contested catch ability. I mean, he can go up and get it.
Yeah.
Strong hands. He can really go up against anybody, a pro-ready receiver coming in. But I really do like the wide receiver class coming out this year.
I do.
You brought up Concepcion and Zachariah Branch, two guys I think at the end of that first round, somebody can really get a steal and a game changer because they got the speed to come in right away and be able to make a difference.
Make a difference, yeah.
So I like this class coming out. Tyson it's right there, but you're not going to have a wrong pick between Carnell Tate, Tyson, and Mekhi Lemon. You're not going to go wrong with either of those three guys. I think they're all going to be some really good receivers in the league.
Yeah. We got some ball catches. There's some ball catches and some receivers out there. So, man, I think, like you said, it's going to be great receiver class and especially in that first, second round.
We know the Raiders coming in with the number one pick. Everyone knows they're going to be taking Mendoza. What do you think about this deal with the trade being rescinded and all this kind of stuff with Max Crosby and was going to the Ravens, and then the Ravens rescind the trade. He's headed back, and they said it was because of medical, but then they go out and side train Hendrickson, and it's been a lot of back and forth about what's happened and what's going on. What do you think about the Max Crosby deal with him?
Exactly what happened. And this is my expertise in this situation. Okay, you feel like you need a pass rusher. You really need one bad. That's your number one target. We're going to go get one of these guys out of free agency. Troy Hendrickson, he raises his price up so high that, hey, we're not going to be able to get this guy. We're not going to pay this type of money for this guy. Okay? So you're negotiating with this guy. You've been talking to him all along, but his agent and him are not coming down on their price tag.
Yep.
So now you got this guy, Max Crosby, so we can get this guy. So let's go get him, but we're going to have to trade to get this guy. So then you execute the trade. Trey Henderson hears about it. And so now he knows that it's one of those teams that he really wanted to go to, that now they've already picked up somebody, but you've still been negotiating. So now they're trying to figure out a way to put both of these guys. And not really, they don't want to put both because now you're paying two guys.
Yeah,
top dollar. And then you're going to lose 2 draft picks in the whole deal. So we're not far away. We just need one pass rusher. But we don't have to give up these 2 number ones to get it.
Yeah.
Now we'll pay him the same amount of money that we're going to pay Max Crosby. And so the way we get out of it is we use this excuse that he didn't pass his physical. And you already knew this guy had surgery and everything. So, but this is going to be our excuse for getting out of it. And the GM said it the best. Costa said it the best. I have to do what's best for my ball club. And giving up them 2 number ones was going to hurt.
Yeah, it was. If you can get a guy that's going to give you similar production,
Similar production.
Same type of money, but
same type of money,
picks.
but you keep your picks.
Yep.
And it was all about the picks.
Yeah. People were mad and saying, Max Crosby got. I'm like, this kind of just the nature of the beast, man. It's the business. If we can get somebody that's going to do what you do for cheaper or for less compensation, then that's what they're going to go do. Max Crosby, I think definitely teams can still use his services, and I think there'll be some on draft night. There's a couple guys I think could be some big names move on draft night. A.J. Brown, I think, could potentially move on draft night. Max Crosby's a guy I think that could maybe move on draft night. But if you're looking at it from the Ravens' perspective, man, I get why they did it. If I can get this guy at the same number we were going to give you, but I keep both my first-round picks, then, hey, we got to just roll with that. But, I think the Ravens, they go out and get a guy they were looking for, Crosby. I'm not sure if he's going to stay with the Raiders. He said he's open to staying with the Raiders. I don't know if the Raiders are on schedule to say we want to keep paying the guy $35-40 million if we know we're only going to go out there and win 4 or 5 games. They might not want to go out and do that.
You should go into a total rebuild.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have a rookie quarterback that's still under a rookie contract. Mm-hmm. You just try to go out and you try to get better over these next 2 years, and you use these 2 years to do it, which is why they traded him in the first place. You was talking about 2 first-round draft choices, so it's easy for us to come off of that as we try to rebuild because now we got 2 number ones. Even though those number 1 picks were probably going to be 27, 28, somewhere in that, But and the back end of that, you got 2 draft choices. You got 1 in the top 10, and then you're gonna have 1 at the end where you can go out and you can trade and you can make deals. So it was unfortunate for Max, but they BS'd him out of that, man.
Yeah.
They did. That was some crazy stuff, and like you said, man, it was all about the draft picks.
Yeah, that was the main reason why I felt like they kept him in there. Real quick before we get off of here, last year or this past season in the Super Bowl, 2 teams that made it, the Seahawks and the Patriots, were 2 of the most active teams in the free agency and in the draft last year, and we've seen both of them get to. Is there any teams that you've seen that were real active in this offseason that you say, okay, maybe that could give them that piece to get over the hump? We've seen, the DJ Moore heading to Buffalo was a big news. Jalen Waddle now going to Denver was big news. Any teams that you've seen made a big move in the offseason that you like, that could be the move that maybe pushed them over the hump of this year? Or do you think we'll kind of see more of the same roster of guys, teams of guys will be in it at the end?
I think what the Rams did.
Yeah, getting Trent McDuffie.
I love that move. Mm-hmm. I think what Denver did.
Getting Waddle, yeah.
Is a beautiful move as well because it gives you that receiver that can go out and can take the top off the defense, and they didn't have that.
Yeah.
So it gives them another element to what they're really doing. So I like what Denver did. I also like what the Rams did. The Rams didn't have guys that could cover. Now they got a guy that can shut down the whole side of the field, and their defense wasn't bad in the first place, so you can rely on that. I also heard that the Rams were trying to get A.J. Brown.
Yeah, that's been where he's been linked to a lot. They just cheating. How many receivers y'all gonna get, man? You got Puka, you got Devontae Adams. You gonna go get A.J. Brown too?
Yeah, and then there's no telling what they're gonna do in the draft. So I'm hearing that they want to get a running back.
Yeah.
So. And I think they got a capable running back right now, and Williams, a great one. Yeah, but man.
Yeah, Rams have been making some moves. They know they got a window. Matt Stafford is 40 years old at this point. They know that the window is getting shorter.
And what do you
shorter.
think about the Cowboy moves?
The Cowboys have made. I think they've made some decent moves as far as moving forward. Now, some people, this is going to be. I'm already starting to hear. Sorry, Rocky. He said what's up in the chat too on YouTube, but I'm sorry. I'm already starting to hear the. Man, we made some moves. This could be our year where the NFC East is wide open. But in the draft, I want to see what they do. I think they have a great chance to get. I think they should take a linebacker there at 12 because that's the biggest piece they're missing. I don't think Styles will be left there by that point, but you can still get an Anthony Hill out of Texas or maybe the guy out of Georgia as well.
I think they should have shot for Hendrickson or Max Crosby because I think that would have solidified their defense. I think Overshawn as a linebacker is at one level. I think they need some more defensive backs, and I think they could have handled that in the draft. Mm-hmm. But because you can get those guys in the draft. You can get cover guys that can can do some things for you if you identify the right guys to draft.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then you're in trouble. But I think they should have took a chance on getting them a pass rusher, and I just don't think they did that.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary, they go out and trade for him. I mean, he's a good pass rusher, but he's a guy that, to me, honestly, is kind of underachieved a little bit. As far as motor goes. He'll have games where he gets, 4 or 5 pressures or a couple of sacks in there. But, man, all his sacks that I watched from last year is because Micah was get 2 guys he's dragging with him about to hit somebody.
My thing is, if you can't get it done with Micah on the other side, then you're not going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, because ain't no Micah on the other side when you out here.
Yeah, because now you're going to have teams that just going to say, hey, we can double team this guy, or we can put our best. I mean, it's just so many things that you can do with one pass rusher compared to 2.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to give them that advantage by having 2 guys that can rush the passer, but it didn't happen. And so I don't think he's going to be the answer. So I would have got one of those guys, especially if you're trying to spend money and you're trying to solidify your defense and you think that that's your only – because one thing about a pass rusher makes a defensive back even better.
The entire defense better, yeah.
So
we watched it. Michael Parsons got 2 dudes all-pro.
I think that they didn't do that, and I think it's going to hurt them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on them when you got both of your edge guys are guys where you question motor and how much can they go throughout the game. That's been questioned with Gary, and then the guy they drafted high last year in Ezraku out of Boston College. He was a guy that in college they questioned his motor, but he was big and fast at the combine, so the Cowboys took a chance on him. And I don't know if he was a top 5 pass rusher for the Cowboys last year, and they didn't even have a pass rush last year. So, it's questions around it. I'll let Rocky explain exactly everything that they're going to do when he comes back on here.
He will have some type of excuse for it because he's just the ultimate Cowboy fan. I love my boy. I love him. He's one of my best friends in the world, but, man, when it comes to them Cowboys, I don't know what's wrong with him, man.
Hey, Rock, I'll let you explain what they're doing next week when you come on the show. Let me explain to me what the Cowboys got going. But, folks, we're out of time here today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today. March Madness in full effect. As we see, we back up to 4 games now going all at once. I'm going to get in and check in and make sure my bracket not getting busted up right now. But we'll see lots of great games coming on tomorrow as well. MCC Baseball this weekend on Saturday. Make sure you tune in 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock is when we'll see you. Thank Wayne for coming on here with us today. We'll be back here next week, folks. Everybody have a great weekend.
Peace.
Can't relate it, it what it is. I'm in the game, I bet I'm gonna win. Running right back, I'ma do it again. If I see you out, I might say what's up. Won't say you did good, cause I don't pretend. I'm one of the best, so give me respect. It is what it is, it is what it is. Cause we gon'